Hello everyone, and welcome to the first early look at Half-Life 2 roleplay for Project Zomboid. First, a bit of background. This project was inspired by Half-Life 2 roleplay made for Gary's mod, originally on the OpenAura and Clockwork frameworks, so if you know either of these, you can notice a lot of similarities. If you're familiar with Clockwork, then you may have heard of me as well. I go by the username of RJ and have released various mods in the past. Now this is my current project that I'm working on. Currently, we're a team of 2 developers, with more developers planning on joining us. I handle most of the programming side of things, while our other developer, Shooter, works on the tiles, clothing, models, custom map, and more. Without any more delay, let's see what we have so far. Upon first connection, you're met with the introduction. And after the introduction, you're met with the main menu where you can create or load a character while in the server, instead of from Project Zomboid's menu when you first connect to a server. You can select your faction, you can enter various information for your character that will be tied to that specific character, such as your name, description, gender, age, height, physique, eye color, and hair color. With these sliders right here, when it gets below or above a certain threshold, it pops up a warning message specific to the Half-Life 2 roleplay game mode, saying that your character is abnormal and that you will most likely be targeted by the Combine. You probably already noticed that when typing into the name and description fields that it turns green. That's to indicate that you're very close to the recommended character length for both of these fields, and it'll start to turn yellow when it gets close to the limit. And after you've entered your information, you can customize your character's appearance with various clothing. It doesn't show it here yet, but there's also going to be customizations for your hairstyles, whether you want a beard or not, and maybe some other options, we'll see. Next up, we have the demonstration of the Ration dispenser's entity. These tiles and all the textures and whatever else was created by Shooter. The programming was done by me for the light blinking on and off. We also have tiles for animations on this entity that's about to be displayed right about here. And after you get the item here, you receive the ration and you can open it and get food with it, whatever it may contain. Shooter has also made various forms of rations. Depending on your faction or your specific character traits or whatever else, you can receive different kinds of rations. We have 6 of them so far: the priority, loyalist, regular, minimal, biotic, and the combine one. I'll just go through each of these and explain what they are and what sort of items they can give. So the priority one is for priority citizens, like the city administrator or similar sorts of people, where they're meant to be fed first before everyone else, because they are essential to the Universal Union. You have the Loyalist package, which is going to be for loyalists, so people that are loyal to the Universal Union, basically good behaved citizens. There's the regular ration, which is just, regular sort of food. keeps you alive and fed and not much else. And there's also the minimal ration, which is basically the backup rations, where if there's no regular, you get a minimal. They're much easier to produce and will be made in greater quantities. There's the biotic ration pack for the faction of Vortigaunts. They've got a particular diet that isn't really human edible in this game mode. And then of course there's the Combine ration pack, which will be for Overwatch, Transhuman Arm, and Civil Protection. Of course, with all of these being models, 3D models, they will exist as models in the Project Zomboid game. So you can see with these different ration packs here, there is 6 of them, each color-coded to the type of ration meals that will be inside of them. And depending on the ration pack that you open, you'll get the corresponding meal, and you'll be able to consume the food that's inside to keep your character alive. Shooter has also been doing an amazing job creating clothing items for this project. Here you can see the Civil Protection uniform, which is actually modular, so you've got different pieces for the armor, the pants, the boots, the helmet. I think the only thing missing from this is the gloves, but I'm pretty sure that's completed. Shooter is also bringing in Half-Life 2 clothing for the citizens. So here you can see the clothing for the males. It's got that iconic blue clothing color to it, of course. He's also working on the female variant for the clothing as well, as you can see here. A custom map is being developed by Shooter that will feature City 17. So the way the map is going to work is that it's going to have a core section for where initial citizens will spawn, surrounded by player-built Combine compounds, so to speak, which will have a nexus nearby along with amenities and housing. If the map is big enough for the playable area, we may allow cars to be used by authorized citizens, and of course the Civil Protection will be able to use APCs, and hunter choppers will be utilized as well for particularly noteworthy raids or scouting missions. The map should be big enough to feature a sizable section for the city area, as well as other locations like the canals, coast, forests, and maybe even some industrial sections. This is all up to Shooter and how he plans on developing the map, but this is a work in progress, and I'm excited to see where this is going to go and how it will develop, and what the players will do to mold the server and its environment to how they think it should be. Now, with a big project like this, it's pretty important to do things right the first time. So with this game mode that I'm making for Project Zomboid, I'm also making a framework that it's going to be built on top of, complete with documentation generated with Doxygen. There's basically going to be documentation for anything and everything, so that even when this is released to the general public, other people can use this documentation to make their own sort of game modes. At first, Project HL2RP, the game mode, won't generally be available to the public. It will be as a private mod, or rather a mod listed on the workshop unlisted. We aren't necessarily against other people using the mod to host their own servers. However, future updates will particularly be restricted to our server that we hope to run for maybe a couple of years before fully releasing the project to the general public. And this framework is going to be able to do a multitude of things. It's going to have managements for the player, the characters that the player has access to. It's going to have factions, items, entities, inventories, and it's going to have custom UIs like you saw with the menu, the main menu there in the introduction. There's going to be custom UIs for the inventory, maybe for trading, a whole bunch of different systems for vehicles and interactions, examining different things. There's a lot to it. It's going to take time, but I think it's going to be great, not only for this community that I'm working on with other people, but for other developers as well. Well, thank you for watching, everyone. We hope to have many more videos like these put out in the future, where we'll be discussing the things that we're working on, or plans, and other sort of things. If you have any questions, feel free to comment, and I'll be around to reply to them. Or if you even have any suggestions, you can let me know about those too. Or at the very least, if anything, you can leave a like so that this video can get more attention and we can get more people on board for either helping out or providing feedback to make this game mode as great as possible. Thank you again. Until the next video. Goodbye.